The cosmos operates by an unbreakable law, karma. Every action, good or evil, weaves an invisible thread that binds the soul across time. For the 60,000 sons of King Sagara, a single tragic deed had spun threads of fire, trapping them between worlds for generations. In their quest for a sacred horse, the princes accused the wrong sage. Their anger fell upon Kapila, a being of such profound peace that his very meditation held the universe in balance. Their disrespect was a spark in a divine forge. From his eternal stillness, sage Kapila opened his eyes, not with anger, but with the pure, terrifying force of truth itself. A glance was all it took, a flash of spiritual fire that reduced the princes not just to ash, but to a state of profound spiritual ruin. Their souls could not move on. Cursed by their own karma, they remained as tormented spirits, bound to their cold ashes on the silent shore, crying out for a purification that seemed impossible. Generations later, a child was born into this cursed lineage. He was named Bhagiratha. From his first breath, he carried a silent purpose. He was not born to expand a kingdom, but to redeem a soul, 60,000 of them. Bhagiratha grew. The weight of his ancestors' torment was his constant shadow. Their silent anguish was the only inheritance that mattered to him. He felt their pain as his own, a crown of sorrow he was destined to break. He stood before his people and made an impossible vow. I will not rest until I bring the river of heaven, Mother Ganga, down to earth. Only her sacred waters can wash away the sins of the past and free my ancestors. He turned his back on his throne and walked into the wilderness. Then decades, Bhagiratha performed penance of unimaginable intensity. He stood on one leg. He lived on air. He meditated through scorching summers and frozen winters, his body aging, his will hardening into a single unbreakable point of focus. He was not asking for a favor. He was building a bridge to heaven with his own devotion. Finally, the Creator, Lord Brahma, appeared. Your devotion has moved the heavens themselves, Bhagiratha, he said. I will release the celestial Ganga. But hear this warning. Her fall will be like the collapse of the universe. The earth cannot bear her force. You have solved one problem only to create a greater one. Brahma's warning became a vision. Bhagiratha saw it. The Ganga was not a gentle stream, but a raging torrent of cosmic power. If she fell unchecked, she would shatter the world she was meant to purify, drowning the very hope of liberation. Undeterred, Bhagiratha asked one more question. Who then can bear this force? The answer echoed in the ancient texts. Only Mahadeva, the great god Shiva, the absorber of all cosmic poison. So the king began a new penance, this time at the icy feet of Mount Kailash, calling to the one who wears the moon as an ornament. In his mountain abode, Lord Shiva perceived the king's immense tapasya. He saw not a king begging for power, but a soul offering itself for the freedom of others. A deep, compassionate silence was his answer, a silent yes that rumbled through the fabric of reality. At Brahma's command, the goddess Ganga, proud and mighty, leaped from the celestial plains. She descended with the arrogance of a waterfall meant to carve canyons, eager to prove her power and crush the insignificant earth below. As Ganga roared down, Shiva simply tilted his head and raised his matted locks. The cataclysmic river crashed into his hair and was swallowed whole. The mighty, destructive cascade transformed into 1,000 playful streams, tangled and spinning gently in the infinite labyrinth of his jata. Power was met with infinite patience. That contrasted the violent descent, Shiva released a single gentle stream from his hair. This was Ganga transformed, not a force of destruction, but a river of grace, now safe for the earth to embrace. With the river tamed, Bhagiratha's final journey began. He walked ahead, and the Ganga followed him faithfully across the continent. Where his footstep fell, her waters flowed, carving a sacred path through mountains and valleys, led not by geography, but by the magnetic pull of a devotee's resolve. The long pilgrimage ended where the ashes lay. The holy waters of the Ganga finally met the salty waves of the ocean and gently washed over the cursed shore. The contact was not dramatic, but soft, a cool, purifying touch on ancient sorrow. The water touched the ashes, a miracle unfolded. Golden light burst forth from the particles. The 60,000 trapped souls, formless for so long, ascended as luminous beings, their faces finally at peace. The chains of their past action dissolved in the sacred flow. Their ascension was complete. The souls did not just rise into the sky, they merged into the boundless light of liberation, moksha. They were free, not just from earth, but from the endless cycle of birth and death, their journey finally utterly complete. And so the day Ganga came to earth, Makara Sankranti, became an eternal festival. It marks not just a river's descent, but a promise that no burden is too heavy, no past too dark to be washed clean by the combined power of true devotion and divine grace. This is the legacy of Bhagiratha. It teaches us that the most profound power is not to rule, but to redeem. That one person's unwavering resolve can alter destiny, turn destruction into nurture, and build a bridge to heaven that liberates generations past, present, and future. The river still flows, reminding us that devotion can move mountains and bring salvation from the stars.